করুন এবং আমরা যেন পৃথিবীর বুকে একটি সম্মানিত জাতি হিসেবে প্রতিষ্ঠিত থাকতে পারি আমাদেরকে সেই
President Mohammad Shahabuddin and Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina offered Fatiha and joined a munajat seeking eternal peace of the departed souls of Bangabandhu as well as other martyrs of August 15 carnage. The President and the Prime Minister signed the visitors' book. Later flanked by senior leaders of her party, Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina and also the Awami League President placed wreath at the Mazar of Bangabandhu on behalf of the party. Earlier on the occasion of the day, Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina placed rich tributes to Father of the Nation, Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, by placing wreath at the portrait of Bangabandhu at Dhanmondi 32 in the capital. After placing the wreath, she stood in solemn silence for some time as a mark of profound respect to the memory of the country's founding father. A smartly turned out contingent drawn from Bangladesh Army, Navy and Air Force gave guard of honor on the occasion. A munajat was offered seeking eternal peace of the departed souls of the martyrs of August 15 carnage. Later, Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, also Awami League President, placed a wreath at the portrait of Bangabandhu on behalf of the party. Senior leaders of the party were present.
Walhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Ameen. Birahmatika ya arhamar rahimin.
Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina has called upon the guardians and teachers not to create extra pressure on the children in the name of education, rather to let them learn their education through sports and various cultural activities. The Premier was addressing the function organized to celebrate the 104th birth anniversary of the Father of the Nation, Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, and the National Children's Day 2024 in Tungipara today. The Prime Minister also distributed prizes among the winners of quiz, art, recitation, song and dance competition organized by Gopalganj District Administration on the occasion. The Prime Minister also handed over the checks of financial assistance to needy meritorious students at the same event. Sheikh Hasina added, the children of today will be the smart citizens of tomorrow's smart Bangladesh, and that is what we want. The Prime Minister urged the guardians to maintain a friendly relation with their children to keep them away from different social diseases like terrorism, militancy, drug and corruption. She criticized the human rights bodies for exposing their double standards policy by not playing proper role in the case of Israel's attack on Palestinian children in Gaza.
ছোটবেলা থেকে তাদের ভিতরে যাতে মানবিক গুণগুলি থাকে সেদিকে যেমন দেখবেন, আবার তাদের এই শিশুদের ভিতরে যে সুপ্ত মেধা আছে সেই মেধা ও মনন বিকাশের সুযোগ যেন তারা পায় সেদিকেও দেখবেন। লেখাপড়া খুবই দরকার, কিন্তু এই লেখাপড়া নামে তাদের উপরে কোনো রকম চাপ সৃষ্টি করবেন না। আমরা এখন চাচ্ছি খেলাধুলার মধ্য দিয়েই শিশুরা তার লেখাপড়া শিখবে, যাতে তার ভিতরে সুপ্ত মেধা বিকাশের সুযোগ হয়। সেইভাবে আমরা কারিকুলাম তৈরি করে এগিয়ে নিয়ে যাচ্ছি, কারণ এখন ডিজিটাল বাংলাদেশ। এখন তো শিশুরা বিশ্বটাকে সামনে দেখতে পায়, ক্লাসে শুধু বই পড়া না, চোখে দেখে শিখতে পারে, আর এরপর তারাই হবে এক স্মার্ট বাংলাদেশের স্মার্ট নাগরিক, সেটাই আমরা চাই। আজকে বিশ্বব্যাপী আমরা দেখি অনেকে শিশু অধিকারের কথা বলে, শিশু শিক্ষার কথা বলে, মানবাধিকার কথা বলে সোচ্চার, আর পাশাপাশি আমরা দেখি একটা দ্বিমুখী কার্যক্রম। সেই গাজায় শিশুদের উপর যখন বোমা ফেলা হয়, হত্যা করা হয়, হাসপাতালে বোমা ফেলা হয়, ফিলিস্তিনিদের উপর যখন আক্রমণ করা হয়, তখন আমি জানি না এই মানবাধিকার সংস্থাগুলো কোথায় থাকে তাদের সেই মানবিকতা বোধটা কোথায় থাকে সেটাই আমার প্রশ্ন। কিন্তু আজকে গাজায় শিশুদের যে অবস্থাটা আমরা দেখি, নারীদের যে অবস্থা দেখি, আমি জানি না বিশ্বের বিপদ কেন না। 21শে ফেব্রুয়ারি আমাদের মাতৃভাষা দিবস, 26শে মার্চ আমাদের স্বাধীনতা দিবস, 16ই ডিসেম্বর আমাদের বিজয় দিবস। আমাদের শিশু, কিশোর বা যুবকরা বা ছাত্ররা এই বিষয়টা জানবে না কেন? এই প্রশ্নটা আসলে এড়িয়ে যাবে কেন? কাজে এই শিক্ষাটা তাদেরকে যথাযথভাবে দিতে হবে। বিজয়ী জাতি আমরা কি করে ভুলে যাব যে যুদ্ধ করে আমরা দেশ স্বাধীন করেছি?
State Minister for Women and Children Affairs Simin Hussain Rimi spoke as special guest while Secretary of the Ministry Nazma Mubarak delivered an address of welcome. Later, a colourful cultural program was performed with the participation of children. The Prime Minister enjoyed it. Besides, the Prime Minister inaugurated an art exhibition in Tungipara on the occasion of National Children's Day. A Milad Mehfil was held at Bongo Bhavan after Zohar prayers marking the birth anniversary of the father of the nation, Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, and the National Children's Day. President Mohammad Shahabuddin attended the Milad. Family members, secretary to the President and officials of Bongo Bhavan joined the Milad. A special munajat was offered for the salvation of the departed souls of the father of the nation, Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, and other martyrs of August 15 carnage. Besides, welfare and progress of the country and the nation were prayed for at the munajat. Speaker Dr. Shirin Sharmin Chaudhary said Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina's vision to implement Smart Bangladesh from Digital Bangladesh is a landmark step. She said the trained young entrepreneurs will take the Smart Bangladesh forward in future. She said this at the opening ceremony of the construction of Joy Smart Service and Employment Training Center under the Digital Connectivity Project of the Ministry of Post Telecommunication and Information Technology at Pirganj Upazila Porishod in Rangpur today. State Minister for Post Telecommunication and Information Technology Junaid Ahmed Polok spoke as special guest on the occasion, while Deputy Commissioner Mohammad Mubashir Hassan presided. At the beginning of the program, the speaker placed wreaths at the portrait of Bangabandhu located in the Pirganj Government High School grounds on the occasion of the 104th birth anniversary of Father of the Nation, Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, and the National Children's Day. Member of Parliament Aroma Dotto was present on the occasion. Later, the speaker attended a discussion meeting, award distribution and cultural program organized by Pirganj Upazila Administration and Ministry of Post Telecommunication and Information Technology on the occasion of the 104th birth anniversary of the Father of the Nation, Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, and the National Children's Day. The speaker also distributed 1,190 laptops among women entrepreneurs under the Women Empowerment Project. Member of Parliament Mohammad Asaduzzaman and Pirganj Upazila Porishod Mayor ASM Tajimul Islam Shamim, Pirganj Upazila Porishod Chairman Nur Mohammad Mondol, Pirganj Upazila Awami League President Nurul Amin Raja, local and district level Awami League and organizational leaders, various dignitaries and media workers were present. Awami League General Secretary Ubaidul Qadir has said the aim of the current government is to turn Bangladesh into a developed nation, following the path of Bangabandhu. He said this after paying tributes at the portrait of Bangabandhu at Dhanmondi 32, marking his 104th birth anniversary and the National Children's Day.
Bangabandhu Janmo Mane hocche Bangladesher স্বাধীনতার জন্য। বাংলাদেশের স্বাধীনতার জন্ম হতো কিনা সন্দেহ, যদি এই জনপদে বঙ্গবন্ধুর মতো নেতার জন্ম না হতো, আমাদের সকল দুর্যোগে সকল সংকটে বঙ্গবন্ধু আমাদের চলার পথে পাথেয় হয়ে থাকবেন। আজকে আমাদের পরবর্তী লক্ষ্য উন্নত সমৃদ্ধ স্মার্ট বাংলাদেশ গঠনে আমরা শেখ হাসিনার নেতৃত্বে অবিরাম লড়াই করে বঙ্গবন্ধুর সোনার বাংলা অভিমুখে আমাদের অভিযাত্রা অব্যাহত রাখবে।
Foreign Minister and Awami League Joint General Secretary Dr. Hassan Mahmood has said the standard of 12th National Parliamentary election was much better than that of all previous elections held in Bangladesh and the subcontinent. Replying to a query of journalists at the Foreign Service Academy in the capital today, the Foreign Minister said considering the scenario of Bangladesh, where trains were set on fire and people were burnt to death to foil polls, an excellent election was held.
NDI, IRI যে রিপোর্ট, সেই রিপোর্টে তারা স্বীকার করে নিয়েছেন যে এই নির্বাচনে দেশে অন্যান্য সময় যে নির্বাচন অনুষ্ঠিত হয়েছে সেই নির্বাচনের তুলনায় অপেক্ষাকৃতভাবে অনেক কম সহিংসতা হয়েছে। বাংলাদেশে যে সমস্ত নির্বাচন ইতিপূর্বে অনুষ্ঠিত হয়েছে বা আমাদের উপমহাদেশে যে নির্বাচনগুলো হয় বিভিন্ন দেশে, সেই তুলনায় এই নির্বাচনের মান অনেক উন্নত। এই রিপোর্টে যদি বা যারা এই নিয়ে বক্তব্য রাখেন বিভিন্ন সময় দেশ বিদেশে, তাদেরকে এই বিষয়টাও অ্যাড্রেস করতে হবে যে বিএনপি যে নির্বাচন প্রতিহত করার ডাক দিয়েছিল এবং শুধু প্রতিহত নয়, নির্বাচন প্রতিহত করার লক্ষ্যে যে সহিংসতা করেছে, মানুষ পুড়িয়ে হত্যা করেছে, সেই বিষয়গুলো তো আসতে হবে। তো যেই দেশে একটি নির্বাচন প্রতিহত করার জন্য ট্রেনে আগুন দেওয়া হয়, জীবন্ত মানুষকে পুড়িয়ে হত্যা করা হয়, সেই প্রেক্ষাপটে যে নির্বাচন অনুষ্ঠিত হয়েছে এর একটি চমৎকার নির্বাচন অনুষ্ঠিত।
Regarding the hijacked ship in Somalia, the Foreign Minister said the government has continued its all-out efforts to bring back the vessel and its sailors at the earliest possible time.
সম্পূর্ণ সুস্থভাবে এবং জাহাজটিও অক্ষতভাবে আমরা উদ্ধার করার লক্ষ্যে কি প্রক্রিয়ায় চেষ্টা করছি বা কিভাবে করছি সেটি আসলে জনসমক্ষে প্রকাশ করার বিষয় না। তবে গণমাধ্যমে এটি নিয়ে অতি মাতামাতি হলে যেটি হচ্ছে, তারা সেগুলো স্যাটেলাইটের মাধ্যমে এগুলো দেখছে। সুতরাং আমি সবাইকে অনুরোধ জানাবো এ নিয়ে সতর্কভাবে রিপোর্ট করার জন্য।
Earlier, Foreign Minister Dr. Hassan Mahmood addressed a discussion marking the birth anniversary of the father of the nation, Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, and the National Children's Day at the Foreign Service Academy in the capital. Top officials of the ministry, including Foreign Secretary Masood bin Momen and students from various educational institutions, were present at the program. Crown Princess Victoria of Sweden will visit Bangladesh from March 18 to 21 in her role as Goodwill Ambassador for the United Nations Development Programme, or UNDP, and the Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs. The press release issued by Swedish Embassy in Dhaka says the princess will visit together with the Swedish Minister for International Development Cooperation and Foreign Trade, Johan Forsell, and UNDP Assistant Secretary General Ulrika Modier. The purpose of the visit is to learn about the development journey of Bangladesh and to study the progress and challenges in the implementation of the SDGs, focusing on climate, gender equality, the green and digital transition, and the role of business sector, said the Swedish Embassy in Dhaka on Sunday. And now on to international news. About 74 protesters are arrested in Russian cities on the final day of a vote set to confirm Vladimir Putin in office. Long queues formed outside the polling stations heeded a call to gather in protest. The call came from the wife of the opposition leader, Alexei Navalny, who died suddenly last month at a penal colony above the Arctic Circle. With most outspoken critics in exile, jailed or dead, the re-election of the 71-year-old Russian president is seen as inevitable. The first 2 days of the vote saw dozens of incidents of vandalism at polling stations, with several people detained across Russia. Voting has also been taking place in the Russian-occupied parts of 4 Ukrainian regions: Zaporizhia, Kherson, Donetsk and Luhansk. Israeli attacks on Deir el-Balah in central Gaza killed at least 12 people and wounded many more, including children. Another Israeli attack killed 36 members of one family as they gathered for a Ramadan meal on Friday night in the Nusayrat refugee camp. Meanwhile, ceasefire talks could resume in Qatar as early as Sunday, with an Israeli delegation led by Mossad spy chief expected in Doha to discuss Hamas's proposal for a three-stage plan to end the war. The talks will also include Qatar's Prime Minister and Egyptian officials and focus on remaining gaps between Israel and Hamas, including over prisoner releases and humanitarian aid. Meanwhile, Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has described U.S. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer's calls for elections in the country as totally inappropriate in an interview with CNN's Dana Bash. The World Health Organization chief says he is gravely concerned after Netanyahu approved plans for the country's offensive in Rafah. Netanyahu's office said the military is preparing to evacuate the estimated 1.4 million civilians stuck there amid international concern over their fate. Thousands of protesters filled the streets of Tel Aviv and Jerusalem Saturday night, calling for the return of hostages in Gaza and for the resignation of the Israeli government. Some called for elections near one of Netanyahu's homes. The death toll in Gaza since October 7 has surpassed 31,600, according to the Ministry of Health in Gaza, who says 92 people have been killed in the Strip over the past 24 hours. The total numbers of injured has reached 73,676, the ministry says. At least 21 people have been killed and 38 others injured after a bus collided with an oil tanker in the Girask district of Afghanistan's Helmand province today. The crash on the Kandahar-Herat highway involved a motorcycle, a fuel truck and a bus traveling from Herat city to the capital Kabul. Provincial Information Department said the bus driver lost control after colliding with the motorcycle and crashed with an oil tanker traveling in the opposite direction from the southern city of Kandahar to Herat, sparking a fire. Traffic officials in Helmand said an investigation into the accident was underway. A state of emergency has been declared in southern Iceland after another volcanic eruption on the Reykjanes Peninsula, the fourth since December. Lava has reached the eastern defences around the small evacuated town of Grindavik. The powerful, fast lava flows began late on Saturday, but the authorities say they have since diminished significantly. Activity around the fissure has dissipated. Meanwhile, Iceland's meteorological office said the streams of lava were still flowing on Sunday, but the rate at which they were moving had begun to slow down. And now the timing for Sehri tonight and Iftar tomorrow. The last time for Sehri tonight in Dhaka and adjoining areas is 4:45 a.m. and Iftar tomorrow is 6:12 p.m. in Dhaka and adjoining areas. Now news on weather. Met Office in its weather forecast till 6 p.m. tomorrow said rain or thunder showers accompanied by temporary gusty and squally wind is likely to occur at 1 or 2 places over Khulna division. Weather may remain mainly dry with temporary partly cloudy sky elsewhere over the country. Day temperature may remain nearly unchanged and night temperature may rise slightly over the country, said Met Office. Now news on sports. Bangladesh will face Sri Lanka in the third and final ODI of the series of the 3-match series in Chittagong tomorrow. The match will start at 10 a.m. at Zohar Ahmed Chaudhary Stadium. Earlier, Bangladesh won the first match and Sri Lanka won the second match to tie the series at 1-1. As a result, the last ODI match became an undeclared final. A day-long taekwondo competition, painting and dua mahfil was held today on the occasion of the 104th birth anniversary of the father of the nation, Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, organized by Bangladesh Taekwondo Federation. The federation's president, Qazi Morshed Hossain Kamal, distributed prizes to the winners at the end of the painting and taekwondo competition held at the Sultana Kamal Sports Complex in the capital. General Secretary of the Federation, Mahmudul Islam Rana, was also present on the occasion. About 200 athletes participated in the competition. Later, a special prayer was offered for the departed souls of the Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman and all the martyred members of his family. And before we end, another look at tonight's headlines. The 104th birth anniversary of father of the nation, Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, and National Children's Day celebrated. President and Prime Minister pay homage to Bangabandhu at Tungipara. People from all walks of life, including Prime Minister, pay homage to Bangabandhu in front of his portrait at Dhanmondi 32. Where is humanity as many children are being killed in Israeli attacks on Gaza, asked Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina on National Children's Day at Tungipara. Bangabandhu is the source of eternal inspiration. Government aims at turning Bangladesh into a developed nation following the path of Bangabandhu, says Obaidul Qadir. Standard of 12th national parliamentary election was much better than that of previous elections, says Foreign Minister. Protest marks the final day of vote in Russia, set to continue Putin's 5th term. And Bangladesh to face Sri Lanka in the series deciding third ODI in Chattogram tomorrow. That's all from the newsroom for now. Thank you for staying with us and we invite you to watch our 11:30 news. Until then, Khuda Hafiz.